The municipality of Oakland-Wawanesa would like to acknowledge and recognize that we are on Treaty 1 and Treaty 2 land, being the original territory of the Anishinaabe and Dakota Nations and the homeland of the Métis Nations. First item is the adoption of the agenda. We have resolved that the agenda for the July 15, 2025 meeting be accepted as presented. Mover. McDonald, second Councillor Fisher. Favor. Be it resolved that the minutes of this June 17, 2025 regular meeting of council be hereby approved as circulated. Moved by Councillor Hatch, seconder Councillor McDonald. Any errors or omissions? All in favor? Be it resolved that July 8, 2025 being checks number 8139 to 8176 and 8178 to 8180 in the amount of $167,780.91 be hereby approved. Moved by Councillor Hatch. Discussion? All in favor? Be it resolved in general account payable being check number 8177 to West Tech Contracting Incorporated, the amount of $6,756.76 be hereby approved. Moved by Councillor McDonald, second Councillor Fisher. Discussion? All in favor? Be it resolved to direct deposit 362 being staff payroll for the period of June 7th to June 20th, 2025, in the amount of $17,185.56 be hereby approved. Moved by Councillor Fisher, seconder Councillor Hatch. All in favor? Carried. Be it resolved that direct deposit 363 being staff payroll for the period June 7th to June 20th, 2025, in the amount of $373.12 be hereby approved. Moved by Councillor Fisher, second Councillor McDonald. Discussion? All in favor? Be it resolved that direct deposit 364 being staff payroll for the period of June 21 to July 4th, 2025, amount of $20,147.73 be hereby approved. Moved by Councillor McDonald, seconder Councillor Fisher, Councillor Hatch. Discussion? All in favor? Be it resolved that direct deposit 365 being council indemnities for the month of June 2025 in the amount of $4,353.03 be hereby approved. Moved by Councillor McDonald, seconder Councillor Fisher. Discussion? Favor? Be it resolved that the July 8th, 2025 utility accounts payable being checks number 1302 to 1311 in the amount of $9,525.99 be hereby approved. Moved by Councillor Fisher, second Councillor Hatch. Discussion? All in favor? Be it resolved that the statement of revenue expenditures report to June 30, 2025 be received as presented. Moved by Councillor McDonald, seconder Councillor Hatch. Discussion? All in favor? Be resolved that the bank reconciliations for the month of June 2025 be approved as previously circulated. Moved by Councillor McDonald, seconder Councillor Hatch. Discussion? All in favor? Okay, so we'll move there into delegation.
Mr. Parsons, would you like to come forward and have a seat, please?
All right, guys, Glenn Parsons here. Got a little bit of a problem with a bylaw here. Basically, it's to maintain property and to regulate nuisances, derelict, and abandoned unsightly properties. And I'm specifically involved with a fence that is, well, to be derelict, since it can't stand up on its own 2 feet post. And a rather obnoxious tree that just continues to beat on my roof like a drum. You got a bylaw here with one clause in it. Activities or things, in the opinion of council, are or could become a nuisance, which may include noise. Well, that tree pounds on my roof like a drum. And, well, falls under there. I initially, about 10 months ago, I filed a complaint about this, so we got a timeline, standard for timelines. One thing, Bob, I think you might want to recuse yourself, but I couldn't care less. So bottom line is this bylaw going to be enforced or not? Because it's pissing me off.
Well, did you want to respond to that initially, what you have?
I certainly could. So you are aware that there is a letter that is out requiring the fence to be looked at by no later than the end of July.
Oh, I don't care what she does with the fence, just get it off my property, because I am in the process of maintaining my property.
Okay, and we did check with our solicitor. In his review of the bylaw, the clause that is indicated there is what is allowed to be done under the Municipal Act. Our bylaw itself does not enforce noise.
Actually, it sort of does say that right here.
Those are the clauses out of the Municipal Act that would be the authority if that's what we were going to do. And you and I have had a conversation on what the recourse is for you.
Yeah,
to
I got
take
some
action.
gobbledygook here from the
Yeah.
solicitor. By the way, who is that?
That's Mr. Tran.
Okay.
Yeah, this becomes a civil matter.
It's a civil place.
No, it becomes, we would suggest you contact your lawyer for those response.
So basically what you're telling me is you got a bylaw here, you can or will not enforce. We're good? Conversation over.
Bylaws, if we have no enforcement officer to go out and find people, what we do is the administration can send letters. And to what the bylaw says, but there's no effective other attack to it. So my suggestion, as council will tell you, that your best recourse would be to contact your solicitor, get some legal advice on it. And it becomes a civil matter between you and your neighbor.
So this bylaw doesn't mean a thing.
Bylaws are there for specific things, but it's like a noise law for a noisy party. We don't have enforcement to go out there and say, shut your party down. We don't have that.
It's not a party, it's a tree.
No, I'm just saying that when it comes to noise, the noise bylaw connected to that kind of thing with people with loud music, et cetera, after 11 o'clock. We don't have enforcement for that. What people do, we advise them to contact the RCMP. It becomes a law thing rather than, they say, a bylaw thing.
The RCMP is of the opinion that this is a civil case too, and, well,
Yeah, and that's,
the bottom line is you're not gonna enforce this.
that's just your best recourse is to contact them.
Well, Dave, I don't know how you'd feel some tree was pounding on, but I guess that's a perspective thing.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you wouldn't like that very much, would you?
I'm not sure what
Hello?
what the situation is here. I haven't been around here, so I don't know what it is.
Good picture right there.
There's barking dogs all the time. If people have dogs and they bark after hours.
Hmm.
That's just as much of a noise situation as anything.
Oh, yeah.
And yet we don't have people able to go out and say, you know, you have to calm your dog down or take it inside. We don't do that.
That's not a dog.
No, that's having your dog that's barking all night.
Yeah, but,
So, This,
it's not a dog. You can see
that's
it
right.
right
And
there.
it's a civil.
Really?
Thank you.
Well, I knew this would be an exercise in fidelity, but say la vie.
Okay.
Have a good day, folks.
Okay, you too. Okay, be it resolved that the presentation by Glenn Parsons related to a tree issue on his property be received, moved by Council Fisher, seconder, Council Hatch, all in favor? Okay, there, we don't have time for that public
We're
hearing,
not
right?
quite ready for that yet.
Okay, so let's go to communication.
Okay, under the order of communications, there's information from Agriculture and Agri-Foods requesting municipal data on gopher damage and ag impacts. The Association of Manitoba Municipalities provided 2 communications dated June the 20th. I would note one of them is still speaking to their efforts to get a standardized approach to their recycling, which may mean that council will have to look at extending our tender for 1 more year because it doesn't look as if they're going to be finalized in time for us to include it in a tender. Canadian Fallen Heroes Foundation honoring 2 fallen soldiers from Wawanesa have information. KPCK Police provided information on their crossing activity that took place already earlier in July. Environment and Climate Change was providing feedback for the guide to reporting on federal plastics, and that full report has been kept on file. The Federation of Canadian Municipalities provided a communique June the 23rd. Multi-Material Stewardship Manitoba has provided their 2024 annual report. And again, the report is on file. Municipal with bulletin number 17 provided information on the amendment to the City of Winnipeg Charter and the Planning Act. Suregrove Services have extended an invitation to their Customer Appreciation Day. We received several thank yous for the scholarships that the municipality provided this year. And the University of Manitoba has information from Aggie Bedpush.
Okay, be it resolved that above noted communications be received. Moved by Councillor Fisher, second Councillor McDonald. All in favor? Okay, I'll go through the committee reports. Councillor Fisher, you have a written report. Anything to add to your report?
Nothing to add.
Councillor Hatch, you have a written report. Anything to add?
Yeah, nothing more.
Councillor Jones has a written report. Councillor McDonald, you have a written report. Anything to add?
Nothing yet.
Nothing to add to my report. The own report. Anything to add?
I would just note that we are having conversations with respect to the debenture for the waterworks in Wawanesa, and that they may be able to get tenders out and work commencing later with this.
Good here. Finance officer report. Anything to add?
Nothing to add.
Public Works, you have a report. Anything to add? Our chief report. Be resolved that the verbal and written reports be received. Moved by Councillor Hatch, second Councillor Fisher. All in favor? Carried. We in time now.
We could probably do the building feasibility report.
Okay. Okay, be resolved that the report of the building feasibility ad hoc committee dated July 7, 2025 be received and recommended considered under the general business. Moved by Councillor Fisher, seconder Councillor McDonald. All in favor? Okay.
Back up to the public hearing.
Okay. Be resolved that the regular meeting of council be recessed to allow council to hold a public hearing to receive representations from any person who wish to make them in respect to a conditional use application. Moved by Councillor McDonald, seconder Sir Fisher. All in favor? Okay, we are in public hearing.
Okay, so council has received an application for a conditional use. It is to allow for a non-farm dwelling on an ag piece of property. The applicant is in the process of putting forward an offer to purchase. The owner has included a letter of support for this conditional use application. There have been no communications with the office, but if there is anybody out in the audience who would like to make representation, I would invite you to come forward at this time.
Want to check? There. Yeah, please.
Yes, we're just looking at putting our family's primary residence on the quarter section currently owned by the Potters. Both the husband and the wife have passed
Here, Thomas?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So the kids are just looking to sell the property and would make a great spot for our primary residence.
Okay.
We continue to rent. That is currently rented out to Brett McCrae. He's had it for the last 15 years, I think.
Okay. Councilors have any questions?
Okay.
Good, thank you. Any further? Okay. Whereas all representatives in regard to the conditional use application number C5/2025 to allow a non-farm dwelling on part of northeast quarter 32,819 WPM in an ag agricultural general zone under Jansen have been dealt with, therefore be it resolved that be excluded. Moved by Councillor Fisher, second Councillor McDonald. All in favor? Carried. Okay. Go along with that. Continue with the new business. Well, that's the. Be resolved that to alleviate a long-standing issue, the ditch be cleaned at an approximate cost of $2,000 to be expended from the drip bridges, culverts, and drainage budget line.
We should include in there the land description.
Yeah.
Mhm. 98 left.
Moved by Councilor McDonald, second Councilor Nash. Discussion. This is just something that's going on for years. We've got a chance to alleviate the whole thing by a little bit of ditch work. All in favor? Okay, be it resolved that conditional use application C5/2025 to allow a non-farm dwelling on part of northeast quarter 32,819 WPM and ag general zone under Jansen be approved. Moved by Councillor Fisher, second Councillor Hatch. Discussion. All in favor? Carried. Okay, so we go through.
I will send you out documentation on that approval.
Thank you. Okay, proposal to subdivide. Be it resolved that subdivision application number 4157-24-8698 as submitted by Lucas Hofer and David Hofer of Treaty Bank Holdings Company Limited to subdivide part of Northeast 10-817 W be approved subject to number 1, a variation order being obtained to increase the allowable site area from 10 acres to 11.60 acres and decrease the site width from 200 feet to 49 feet within the ag zone. And number 2, the conditional use order being obtained for the non-farm dwelling as in ag zone. And so we move that. Councilor McDonald, seconder. Councilor Fisher, discussion.
Can we just get a little more clarification? Where is it?
Green Acres Road.
It's in here.
Right before
Green
the,
Acres Road. Treaty Bank Holdings Company?
Oh, it's right behind my house.
Oh, by your.
Yeah, it's just the next road. It was, Jim, Dawn. Dawn's house. Yeah, that's the property. Yeah. There he is, this is what they're,
It's subdivided.
Yeah,
That
just like-
yard site
yeah.
out of the
Yeah.
3/4. Okay.
Okay. All in favor? Carried. Be resolved that communication from Tracy Cullen regarding the unsightly problem First Street be received. Moved by Councilor McDonald, seconder, Councilor Fisher. Discussion. This is the old store.
this is, and because the owners have now left the country, is my understanding. And we have a company showing on our tax roll. If council wants to do anything to clean that up, it's going to be on the municipality's dime to do so.
Should we not wait for foreclosure type of situation?
Well, and
Bring about what's gonna happen there.
And that could very well be. The request had come forward asking council to look at it. I had replied back to Ms. Cullen to let her know what current circumstances are. But if council wanted to do anything now, we would have to do the cleanup. Otherwise, the property at some point goes forward into tax sale and tax service is able to locate somebody that they would be passing that information on to. we would then have the opportunity to use that information to do the exam. As it stands right now, we've got nobody to approach for it.
Mr. Chairman, I know when you go by there, like it's definitely fallen in and it's, you don't want kids going in under there or whatever. That's all my only concern. But
This is the old guy. Back.
yes. That's my only.
It's hard for us right now because we don't know who owns the property.
And where
We can't.
do you start and stop?
And there is no tax arrears, is there?
That we're not going to talk about in the council.
Okay.
Yeah, that's not got anything to do with it. It's just a matter of finding out who actually owns the property more than anything else, if we don't have that.
So if council wants to move the table in motion
Yeah.
until ownership is determined.
I'll move to table.
Seconder, here. Mr. Fisher, all in favor? Table that to see where we're going. Okay, be it resolved that the proposed fiber path along Road 46 North, Hayfield Road, between ETH 10 and Road 111 West, outlined on the map attached to correspondence dated June 19, 2025, from RF now, be approved subject to the terms and conditions of the installation agreement dated October 26, 2023. Moved by Councillor Hatch, seconder Councillor Fisher. Discussion. All in favor? Be it resolved that the proposed fiber path along 45 North Tower Road between Road 108 West and 109 West, outlined on the map attached to correspondence dated June 25th, 2025, from RF now, be approved subject to the terms and conditions of the installation agreement dated October 26, 2023. Moved by Councillor McDonald, seconder Councillor Hatch. All in favor? Be it resolved that the proposed fiber path in Brandon Hills Estates, outlined on the map attached to correspondence dated July 7, 2025, from RF subject to the terms and conditions of the installation agreement dated October 26, 2023. Moved by Councillor Fisher, seconder Councillor McDonald. Discussion. All in favor? Okay, whereas pursuant to section 372 of the Municipal Act, the municipality may set a reserve bid in the amount of the tax arrears and costs in respect of the property. Now therefore be it resolved that the reserve bid be placed on all properties in the amount to all arrears and costs in respect to each property listed for tax sale. Moved by Councillor Fisher, second Councillor Hatch. Discussion. How many properties do we have in tax? 9. All in favor? Be resolved that the administration be directed to commence the required debenture process for an estimated $900,000 for construction of a new shop in Nesbitt for the 2026 budget year. Moved by Councillor Fisher, second Councillor Hatch. Discussion. All in favor? Be it resolved that the Manitoba Municipality's online report for the month of June 2025 be received and any necessary actions to the bylaw maintenance program be hereby approved. Moved by Councillor Donald, second. Fisher, discussion. All in favor? Be resolved that this meeting is now adjourned to meet again on Tuesday, August 19, 2025 at 9 a.m. at the municipal office in Wawanesa. Moved by Councillor Hatch, seconder Councillor McDonald. All in favor?